This is in the section of notes that I call the Muppet Labs of contest formats. Hello and welcome to the EuroWhat, episode 292, dropping on February 17th, 2026. We are a pair of Americans trying to make sense of the Eurovision Song Contest. I'm Mike McComb, and I'm here with my co-host, Ben Smith. Hey, Ben.
Hey, Mike.
In this episode, we'll be talking about Lithuania's relationship with Eurovision. I have been on a journey this week that I was not expecting.
I mean, I've kind of been looking forward to this one because I remember in the early years of our show just sort of discussing whatever sort of marathon process was happening with Lithuania and getting sort of irritated every week of what do you mean there are 6 new contestants?
I thought that was going to be, well, I don't want to say the worst of it. I'll get into it, but it gets more convoluted. Yeah, I mean, as much of a journey as I've been on this week, it has also been just very high highs, low lows. I wasn't even really sure how to structure this, where at first it seemed like, Lithuania, what are you doing? But then digging deeper into it, be like, oh, okay, I kind of get why these choices were made. And yeah, I think it's kind of following a lot of the other countries that we've been covering this season and the challenges that they've been facing, and just kind of how Eurovision strategy and national final strategy and national final purpose changes.
Yeah.
What is your familiarity with Lithuania at the contest?
Let's see. I mean, I feel like I have, particularly in the last 5 years, I have gone from general frustration at you guys spent 13 weeks and you picked, and this is the end product, to being really, and once they came back, it's technically pre-pandemic, because that's when the route first got selected, but as soon as Pabando Mishnauyo comes on the scene, is a little bit more structured and really seems to be giving a platform for Lithuanian music, is I've been much more locked in, because we've had Monica Liu, we've had The Roop. They've really been showcasing the breadth of their music scene, which is really, really lovely. But prior to that, I mean, it's one of the weirdest Eurovision in the wilds of just sort of being why is Broadway in Boston using Donnie Montel's I've been waiting for this? I understand why this is being used. It's a very good promotional, yeah, sure, stick this song over a bunch of clips of the musicals that are going to be trucked up here over the course of the next year, but also just why is this here?
Right. Yeah. A lot of what you said is going to be touched on, and why don't I just dive in? Lithuania started in the contest in 1994. They weren't part of the 1993 kind of audition process for new countries. They were just we'll wait a year and just get on the wait list. So they were brought in the 1994 contest. And their entry was internally selected, and it was Ovidius Wisniauskas and his song Lopshine Milimai, which is Lullaby for the Beloved. So, thoughts on that one?
I feel like this exists as sort of a micro genre within Eurovision of just sort of, this feels very standard ballad.
Mm-hmm.
Just good intro. I had forgotten that with this set, they just sort of built the TV sets into the fake cityscape.
Yes.
So it's just a little Blade Runner or Times Square.
Mm-hmm.
But no, just it's fine. It's serviceable. It's a good intro.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's this is Eurovision 1994. Not the most adventurous time in the contest. No. And yeah, so I mean, this is very middle of the road, right over the plate, competent song sung competently by a competent singer. So it's it's totally fine. And I mean, this is also when the language rule was still in play. So it's in Lithuanian. It finishes with 0 points. So not the best debut at the contest, but it's kind of understandable. I mean, Lithuania, new kid on the block, so hasn't really established itself yet. None of their friends are in the competition this year. Like Estonia was
Oh,
relegated,
okay.
Latvia hasn't started yet, and Lithuanian as a language, like it's an East Baltic language. The only other major East Baltic language is Latvian. There's nobody at the contest to be like, oh yeah, this song is fine. Like there's not really a foundation for like a cheerleader in Lithuania's
Yeah,
corner.
yeah, just like because like just the fact, just none of the friends are there. Just like, oh,
With nobody able to like throw Lithuania a bone, it's kind of understandable that like one, they got relegated for 1995, so they were not allowed to compete. 96 had that kind of pre-mixtape audition process. I can understand why they may not want to embark on that. So they just kind of cool their jets for a little bit and come back to the contest in 1999. So in 1999, they decide to actually have a selection process. And what they do is they get about a dozen or so singers and songs, and it's kind of a glorified internal selection process because it's just a jury that's selecting it. But they film this show and they air it on New Year's Eve. And what's important about this is it establishes the kind of Lithuanian formula of, yes, it's a live performance, it's live to tape, but it doesn't have to be like live when it's on. And like that is really important because filming on a Tuesday so that the show can air on Saturday, that allows the participants to work gigs on Saturday when like singers are going to like need to do their jobs. So
yeah.
so that is like established right from the jump in Lithuania's process. Like that is how they produce their national finals today. It's how they've been producing their national finals all along. Record earlier in the week. It's an edited down version of performances. They don't need to show the stage changes. They don't need to have awkward host banter while things are being moved around. They can fit the show to time. Artists can still like do their jobs on Saturday, or they can watch their performances and be at home voting for themselves. That's great. Mm-hmm. So, but yes, in this 1999 process, they're airing this on New Year's Eve. Even though there is no audience vote component to the final scores, they still do a televote, probably just to see like, oh, okay, is this something that we could actually like build into our process later on? The winning song is Ice Day's Strazdas. And this song is in the Samogishian dialect. And this is an interesting language situation because this is a language that it's not technically endangered. This is getting kind of into an area of linguistics that I don't have a firm foundation on, but it's not taught in schools. There's not a ton of written content that has survived like the Soviet era.
Okay.
And a lot of the speakers like were people who spoke it like before the Soviet era began, and like they're going to be very old right now. So this is kind of like a language in need of preservation. People who speak it may not necessarily be able to read it because there's just not enough like written form of it that's survived. So highlighting that piece of Lithuanian culture, hey, that's really interesting at Eurovision. That's in 1999. That's when the language rule is abolished. Everybody's just like, oh, we can do English now? Great. Yeah, but at this contest, Estonia is there. A few other countries are able to throw some support because televote is also part of the process now. It scores points, so it's already in a much better position than their first entry. They finish in 20th place. Everything else that's at the bottom of the table, also in non-English languages. So, like, not... yeah.
Oh, 1999 Eurovision.
Yes. So, Lithuania gets relegated. You can see that they're getting a little nervous about the whole language piece of it. So, their 2001 entry, this is also selected using a not overly elaborate process. It's like a standard national final, like 15 acts, people vote, song is selected, and they send Scamp with You Got Style, and this is a song that's in English and Lithuanian. This is the last time that Lithuanian will be at the contest for a couple of decades. This one does okay. It finishes mid-table, 13th place, so they don't get relegated. Yes, like little victories along the way. 2002 does not go so great. They do end up getting relegated for 2003. And then we enter the semifinal era. Hey, if Eurovision is able to expand their process into semifinals, Lithuania should expand their process into semifinals.
We should also have semifinals.
Yeah. So this is kind of getting into the purpose of the show. And I think it gets into Lithuania's motivations at this point, where I don't think Lithuania approaches Eurovision as we need to win Eurovision. I see their national final as being more fulfilling part of the public service mandate of public media, where this is an opportunity to showcase Lithuanian artists, Lithuanian songs, Lithuanian singers. Part of the way that they're promoting that is by having this adapted schedule where they are enabling people to participate, but not taking them away from being able to work and do their day job. I feel like their process is more about the Lithuanian showcase piece of it than trying to win Eurovision, selecting a song for Eurovision. That just is kind of more like a bonus round than anything else. So in 2004, their process expands to 52 entries. They have 6 semifinals and a final. The semifinals are televote only. And yeah, there's a lot of home audience support. And I mean, one of the things about Lithuania is they are almost transparent to a fault. We get the exact vote totals every week, and just everything is by the book. There's one entry that is the runaway televote winner. In the final, they introduce a jury component, so it's 50% jury, 50% televote. That runaway televote winner is sunk by the jury. So, it ends up in the situation where there is a 3-way tie for first, and then the jury votes on it's the Survivor finale, and they all vote on which of the 3 songs they want to go to Eurovision. So yeah, it just kind of waters down the result. And yeah, their 2004 entry, Linus and Simona's What's Happened to Your Love, does not qualify. Their 2005 entry finishes in last place in the semifinal. It's just not a great process overall. And this is something that comes up in the Lithuanian process a lot, where there's one that has huge audience support, not really a lot of jury support, huge jury support, not much audience support, and they just kind of keep meeting in the middle. 2006 comes along and they decide to overhaul their process a little bit. They split up and this is in the section of notes that I call the Muppet Labs of contest formats. Which I think may be a little mean at this point, but it is just really kind of more let's just try this and see what happens. And for somebody who is an outside viewer who is watching multiple song competitions on the same day, often at the same time, it's just this one is really unconventional and kind of difficult to follow. But yeah, their 2006 process, they split the field into newcomers and experienced artists. The first 3 weeks of the competition were just for the newcomers. They end up in a semifinal where 6 end up kind of surviving the newcomer part of the process. Then they get merged into additional semifinals with the established artists. Eliminations happen, but somehow you still end up with a final with 16 entries. So
that's too many things.
There's too many things. There's wild cards in the mix. It's just there's just a lot going on. And they're changing the voting format in all of the other rounds. In the newcomer rounds, it's 50-50 jury televote. When it gets to the part where it's mixing the newcomers and stuff, it's all televote. It's an all televote final. So I guess that's an improvement in a way where it's okay, there's at least popular support behind whatever is getting sent to Eurovision. And this is the year that Lithuania sends We Are the Winners.
Better stereo. We are here to represent the truth. We are the winners of Eurovision. We are.
Oh, that's delightful that all this convolution leads to this one.
This is still Lithuania's best performing entry at the contest. They finish in 6th place overall. They scored 162 points, which is still in like their top 5 points ever at the contest, including in the new like split format where like you're getting points from the jury and the televote. So yeah, it's kind of understandable how like that one, like I mean it's a sort of a soccer chant. It's a little snarky, but it's also like really well performed. Like it is an interesting entry, and was able to like get a lot of televote support internationally, which is a huge help. 2007, it's even more convoluted. Like I think that was the year where they had like the newcomers category, the established artist category, and then there was this kind of like middle category where it's just like yeah, it got a little nuts. So
No, you sort them into 2 categories. 2.
also in 2007, this is when like where you placed, like if you were in the top 10, you automatically got into the final. So Lithuania was going to be in the final no matter what. Throw that spaghetti at the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, in 2008, they did finally like kind of downsize this process, but they brought in like Eurovision alumni as wild cards into the final. Like it's just like they're just really like trying everything. Lithuania kind of goes in cycles where it's like building up. Okay, let's take a step back.
Yeah, let's take a step back. Let's pare this down.
Yeah. So 2010, they're down to 4 weeks. 2011, it's 4 weeks again, but now they're having a super final, and the super final winner is determined by a jury. So it's like, okay, we're just going to keep adding little elements here and there. 2012, oh, well, let's stretch it out to 5 weeks. 2013, they kind of go nuts. They have like 10 programs in total. There's 2 preview shows where you get to like meet all of the participants. And then 8 competitive shows. So 5 heats, 2 semifinals, a final. Like you're really going to get to know like the people that are participating in this. Super expanded. And then it's like, okay, let's do another overhaul. 2014, I think, almost broke me in just trying to understand what is going on. So this, and I think this was partially a celebration of like, oh, it's like 20 years since our debut at Eurovision. Not their 20th entry, because there was a like several gaps in there. Yeah, but yes, so there's like a number of artists who are like returning artists, either having been at Eurovision before or like they've just been in these processes. So they have 20 artists to start. In the first 2 weeks, they're like, it's a group of 10 and a group of 10, and only half from each week are making it through. So 10 artists get to the actual like competition part of the competition. They do some Eurovision covers the first couple of weeks, and at this point in the competition, they're just eliminating one singer. There's also a separate competition to determine what the song is going to be. Starting in week 5, they bring in the songs that are in contention, and the artists are kind of rotating who's singing which song which week, and that's the rest of the competition. So you're hearing these songs multiple times, interpreted by different artists each week. It's kind of like on Project Runway, where they're just like, oh, it's a competition for the models too. It's like, is it?
Is it? Yeah, we're just getting to the point where it's like, okay, do you want Kelly Clarkson or Justin Guarini to be singing A Moment Like This?
That is eventually what happens. They get to the semifinal, or the penultimate episode. I need to phrase it that way. The penultimate episode is where they determine the song, and then in the final, the 3 remaining artists all perform that song. They also perform a cover, and yeah, it is basically like the American Idol finale. Vilja wins with Attention, a song that I adored in 2014. It finishes 11th in the semifinal. So this entire process, and it doesn't get them to the main stage.
And like, I had not realized that was the output of that style of selection, because like that Vilja and Attention, like that feels so connected. Like I would have assumed that no, this is the song that she came with.
It is and it isn't, because she was one of the writers of that song. And there were a number of songs that were in contention in 2014 that were written by participants in the contest. But like, it was made clear at the very beginning, it's just like, yeah, if you brought a song, you may not necessarily be the one singing it, or you may win this thing, but you will be singing a song that is not the one that you brought. This just happened to be a case of, yeah, the winner of the contest happened to get paired up with the song that she brought to the contest. So yeah, 2015, slightly less convoluted version of 2014, but it was still like these two streams of contests happening with the American Idol style final round. And in that one, they changed this time to a duet. So there were 3 singers in the final. 2 of them actually got to go to Eurovision. So 2016, like it was like starting to turn into So You Think You Can Dance, where it's just like, oh, now it's artists with songs versus artists without songs. And yeah, that one was also really baffling, because you had the artists with songs. They were competing in their one stream, and like they would be like episodes like 1, 3, 5, and 7. And then you had like the free agents, as I'm calling them, and they were performing songs provided to them in episodes like 2, 4, 6, 8. And eventually the two fields merged in week 8. They're just singing the same song each week. So like, if you're following this whole process, you're hearing these songs multiple times. Like, these songs have been presented at least 5 times by the time that this process ends. And yeah, this is how we end up getting Donnie Montel's I've Been Waiting for This Night. Yeah, I've been waiting for this to finish. Come on. But despite all of that repeat exposure and like likely changes between performances, I didn't go back to check. And I know I was not watching this at the time, because it's like, I do not have time to watch the same song 5 times. There's like 12 other national finals that are happening today. So despite all of that, this is the second time that Lithuania finishes in the top 10 at Eurovision. So it's just like, sometimes lightning will strike. This process, they change it up in 2017, and that's where we get into what we know as the Lithuanian Marathon, where it's just a series of artists and they're just singing the songs, a number get through, then move on to the next week. There's no like continuing champions or however it was, where it's like the same songs being repeated like week in and week out. But there are way too many heats and far too few eliminations, where it's just like, oh, you have like 9 people competing, 5 of the songs will advance, and then we'll add in wild cards. And it's just a very long process. You're also starting to get a lot of like no call, no shows at the recordings, and contestants getting fined. Like it's just kind of looking sloppy. And yeah, Lithuania is also just not doing great at Eurovision during this time. Like 2017, they don't qualify with Fused Mark's Reign of Revolution. 2018, they do okay. They get 12th place overall. This is Yeva's When We're Old. And it's a very sweet performance, but not really the party vibe that 2018 was bringing. 2019, they also fail to qualify. And this is another one where it's just like this very long process. And it's like, I guess it's this one that's going to win.
Yeah, like it's just somehow 36 weeks of television and we get Run with the Lions at the end of it.
It's probably time again for another reboot. And this is where Pavandum Ishnauyo comes in, which stands for We Try Again. This one, it turns into a more standardized format where the steps are kind of laid out in advance, because that was another thing with like some of the like marathon years where they're just like, oh, well, we have enough entries for like adding one more week to the process, and kind of making adjustments on the fly.
Yeah, I was just thinking about the no call, no shows. I'm just like, yeah, if you're in sort of an unclear process where it's like, is this a good use of my time? If I'm one of the 3 that's selected, but like there's like 8 other things that are getting added to the mix.
Right. Yeah, it's just like, what is the end game here? So, yeah, with Pabandom you have the 3 weeks of qualifying heats, half the field advances, goes into two semifinals, and half the field, like, again, the semifinals are actually semi-ing the field. So, yeah, it's not cutting, like, from 10 down to 8. It's going like, okay, like, from these 10, 5 are going to advance. And then from these 10, 5 are going to advance. Ultimately, it's in the first year of Pabandom, it's 8 in the final. And I would argue one of the strongest national finals in recent memory. Like, I think fondly of the 2020 edition of Pabandom Mishnauio.
Yes.
The Roop win with On Fire, a song that still has a perfect record on the ESC 250, although it's getting dicey. It was 248 in the most recent countdown, so hopefully it can hang on for next year. But yeah, like this was like one of the few times that Lithuania was in the discussion of being like, oh, could this be a Eurovision winner? Because their process doesn't really allow for that, just because there's so much focus on supporting like the Lithuanian artists and having this be more about the Lithuanian like music industry, because there isn't a ton of an international appeal for Lithuanian artists. Again, like the language aspect of it, there just aren't a ton of people outside of Lithuania who speak Lithuanian, and Lithuania is a small country. It's about the size of West Virginia. It's like 2.8 million people. Latvia is the only other country that has a language that's even close to Lithuanian. If an act can make it big in Latvia and Estonia along with Lithuania, like that's considered a huge win. Like they're not, but it's not likely that they're going to like conquer Europe anytime soon. So yeah, I don't see like winning Eurovision as ever being part of the calculus in how Lithuania structures its national final. Like, I don't think that is the purpose of the show. The show is about like, no, these are Lithuanian artists that you could see right now if you wanted to. Like, you could turn off the TV and probably go to the bar down the street.
Yeah, you could immediately go to the Sisters on Wire gig after seeing them as the interval act.
Exactly. I think with the scoring processes that are used, where it's a combination of televote and jury vote, and it changes midway through process. Like it's set up to kind of meet in the middle. So I don't want to say that the entries that win these contests are compromise entries, because I think they have, especially in the last 5 years, have sent some really quality stuff. But there's still just this kind of like, okay, we've met in the middle, and it's not something that is going to shake the stratosphere, you know? And that kind of bears out when you look at the final tables at Eurovision, where like Lithuania usually finishes mid-table. If your process is resulting in an kind of middle process, middle of the pack sounds about right. So I think there's still room for Lithuania to grow. And that happened in 2022, where they send Monica Liu with Sentimentai. A song that is completely in Lithuanian, and that did probably better than Lithuania was expecting. Like, I think it was an incredibly popular entry, like huge televote support. I think on a technical level, the jury loved it, but I think people just like love Monica Liu. Like she's
a magnetic.
Yeah, like totally magnetic personality. And like she had been working in the industry for a very long time. Like she has written several entries that were up for consideration in the Lithuanian processes. And yeah, like she's just someone that people want to work with and love her energy. And I think they were just like, oh yeah, we love this. It's probably going to do only okay at Eurovision. And it's just like, it did. Like, I think it defied expectations, especially with it being fully in Lithuanian. It finished in 14th overall, so like right in the middle of the table. And I really think that may have opened the floodgates with all of the language stuff that we've been talking about in the last couple of years, because it's like, oh, Lithuanian can actually do well at the contest now. And 3 of their 4 last entries at the contest have been fully Lithuanian, and they've all finished mid-table. I would not be surprised if Lithuanian becomes a fixture at the contest over the next several years. I think it's still going to be a stumbling block if they can somehow figure out a way to get a like Karia type performance where it's like it's in a language that I don't want to describe it as obscure, but it's one that is like not as easily accessible to the general audience. And they may have thought that they had that with Luktelk, but again, their process makes it challenging because that was one where like it was presented in the first heat of the show. So like I think it was fully metabolized by the time that Eurovision came around. Whereas like if it was later on in the process, maybe it might have had a little bit more staying power. I think there were some other factors that were involved with how it ended up doing at Eurovision as a whole. If Lithuania wants to shift its focus to winning Eurovision, it will probably streamline its process, but I don't see that actually happening.
No, like they seem to be very happy with how Eurovision.lt runs itself.
Yeah, they are achieving the goal of expanding beyond Lithuania's borders. Like that was one of the other interesting things about their early process when they launched their revised process in 2004. That was when they started broadcasting it on their website, which is pretty early for streaming television. It's been broadcast on there ever since. They've expanded to YouTube. And yeah, I just keep thinking back to when they launched Eurovision.lt and one of the hosts like switched to English. It's like, hello, everybody. We see you.
Yeah, he's just like turning, facing the camera, just sort of seeing me. And I don't like this.
I mean, they basically could have just been like, oh, hey, Ben. Hey, Mike. How's it going?
Yeah. It's like, we know your IP addresses. Yeah. Hello.
Yes. I think it's going to be interesting to see how the process evolves. I think where they're at right now, it's satisfying their goals, even though it may not necessarily be satisfying for the non-Lithuanian audience. I really do think Pabandom Išnaujo was the ideal form for a music competition as an entertainment program. Mm-hmm. But I absolutely understand that it does not satisfy all of the goals that LRT, the broadcaster, and the participants want to have with this particular music competition and music showcase. Like, I think that might be the better way of describing how Lithuania broadcasts this. It is intended to be a showcase. There just happens to be a winner at the end of the season.
I'm just like looking through the 2020 Pabandom Išnaujo final lineup and just going, yeah, wow, this is because we had Alligator, we like Me and I's Drip made the final.
Yep.
And like if I scroll up like one more to like the semifinals, like that is why I am still listening to Gabrielius Vagelis.
Yeah. Who actually started in the process way earlier than I was expecting. Like he was in like early teens, first started showing up in their process. It's like, wow, I didn't realize he was he's been around that long, but good for him.
I fully agree with you, just sort of like what Lithuania wants out of this, because yeah, like that's why I still turn on Eurovision.lt is because it is a showcase. And like it's one of the ones where I'm like, when they've had interval acts like Sisters on Wire, I've been like, why isn't this in the competition? It's so good. It's why I listen to a bunch of music in Lithuanian despite not speaking the language. Right.
Why don't they want to compete in this? It's like, well, that's not their goal. They're just like, oh no, like we're free this Tuesday. Let's perform. Let's get ticket sales for our show on Saturday. Coming out of this, my concern is just like, oh, I don't know if Lithuania is ever going to like actually win the contest, because I just don't see the intention there, particularly in their selection of things. Because again, with these sort of marathon style processes, there can be quality control issues where it's just like, oh, 70 songs were submitted. We are allowing 68 of them to compete. Like we could maybe edit this down a little bit, but again, like that's not the purpose. And yeah, like I'm not a fan of Twosome, but that's not the point. Like Twosome is an artist that they want to highlight, and yeah, God bless. So
yeah, and like it's interesting because like I feel like they have made moves towards showing we could do this if we wanted to. Because like in 2021, when we suddenly had everybody needs to do a live on tape performance, they were one of the countries who were like, hello, we're gonna build out a stage. And if y'all want to come record on our stage, you can.
really, I think that was the thing that maybe helped elevate Lithuania for the general viewer, where, like, if you are someone who is following national final season, like, they didn't really have to make any adjustments in 2021 to have their national final. Like, the only adjustments they had to make is just like, okay, well, we obviously cannot have a live audience. We're already doing live to tape stuff. Like, that's how we produce this show. We'll just have like a little bit more of a gap between the first act and the second act so that we can like clean up the stage and everything and make sure everyone transfers appropriately. Also bringing back the group as an alumni wild card to the to the contest since they weren't able to.
A necessary alumni wild card because, like, well, we want to have Pabando Mishnayou again, but also the Rube are still here, and like we should give them a chance because we were favored. We had momentum. Yeah,
and like it worked out for everybody, and like it was a shorter version, but it's like, oh yeah, we've done a 4-week version of this process before. We've already got the production piece of it. Like, it's just like it maintained familiarity in a time where like people were really kind of grasping.
We were like, we needed that. We needed things to hold on to.
Yeah, and I think that just really helped to raise Lithuania's profile and really set them up for success for this decade. And like they've qualified every year since 2020. So like they're doing something right. And like these are solid qualifications out of the semis. It's like 4th place, 7th place, 6th place. Like they're figuring stuff out. And yeah, I think it's just more of a matter of if they want this, they just need to kind of shift their focus like 1 or 2 degrees and they could probably make magic happen.
Agreed.
So that's going to do it for this episode of the EuroWhat. Thanks for listening. The EuroWhat podcast is hosted by Mike McComb, that's me, and Ben Smith.
That's me. You can find our full archive of episodes on our website at EuroWhat.com. For our free newsletter and more info about the EuroWhat AV Club bonus podcast, check us out at patreon.com/EuroWhat.
Next time on the EuroWhat, Ben takes us through an analysis of Finland's UMK process.